And welcome back into Open Line. We are talking with attorney Clint Kelly from the Kelly firm. We are talking about medical malpractice, how it might affect you or a loved one. I know there's always a lot of questions when it comes to this because you're a lot of times just not sure who to call, where to go. And one of the best things about Clint is the fact that you can call Clint at his firm, and ask the question, and there's no charge. It's basically calling for the information.
That's correct. And I have someone in my office named Pat Thayer, and what will happen is the client will call and ask, look, I think I have a case. I want to talk to somebody about it. And Pat is my historian. She's the one that basically gets the information, the history from the patient. She's good at it because she asks better questions than I do.
Yeah.
And so what she'll do is she'll ask all the pertinent questions that she needs to ask, and then she'll type it up and she'll send me a memo and say, here's John Smith. He went to see Dr. Harris, and here are the things that happened to him. And I can look at that intake sheet that she's produced to me, and I can make a decision. Is this case one that I want to investigate with an expert? Or is it a case I need more information on? Sometimes that happens, and I'll follow up with a call for myself. Or is it one where I say, I can't win it. I don't believe I can win this in front of a jury. And then in that situation, I'll write a letter to the client saying, I'm sorry, I can't take your case, but encourage them to go talk to another lawyer if necessary.
And hold on with us this evening, because we will show that information, how you can get in touch with the Kelly firm if you do have a question, you think there is something that you may have a case that you want to discuss. So make sure that you do stay around for that. Right now we are going back to our lines. Tina is on the phone with us. Tina, good evening, and do you have a question or a comment for Clint?
Yes, I do. I was curious. I had some surgery done on my feet, bunion surgery. Anyway, one of my feet is messed up, and anyway, I don't really know what to do. Can you help me? Do I have anything to stand on?
Was this a podiatrist, Tina?
I'm sorry?
Was it a podiatrist who did the procedure?
It was a doctor at Vanderbilt, yeah.
All right. They're called foot doctors, but the proper word for them is a podiatrist. Tina, just call my office in the morning. Ask to speak to Pat first thing. Our office opens up at 8:30, and I'll transfer or have them transfer the call to Pat, and she'll get the intake. Foot? Yes.
Can I have your phone number?
Absolutely. It's 615.
Okay.
824.
824.
3703.
3703.
Yes, ma'am. And Tina, you asked to speak to Pat when you call in the morning.
Yes, I wrote her name down. Or is that her, right?
Yeah, that's right. And she'll take your information, then she'll type it up and send it to me, and I'll let you know either through myself or through Pat whether I think you have a case.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tina, for calling.
All right. Bye.
Thank you, Tina. Have a good evening. And in case you missed the number, don't forget we will put up all the information at the end of the show. We'll put the address, we'll put the phone number so you can get that because it is so worth it. If you do have a question, you think you have been done wrong by whether it was the hospital, a nurse, a doctor, something like that, and you just want to know if you do have a case, make sure that you stay around when we give the number out. Right now we are going back to the line. Lucy is on the phone with us. Lucy, good evening, and do you have a question or a comment for Clint?
Well, I have a comment about the lady with the check. Before she cashes the check and before she does anything to the back of the check, I strongly recommend she take it to the library if they have a Xerox machine and copy the front and the back. Then after she has good solid copies, maybe make a couple of them, go ahead and mark through the comment on there on the back side of the check, and then copy that too, so that you have before and after documents to take to an attorney, so that there won't be any questions from the defense guy if they want to try to question what about those comments that were on there.
Yeah, it's basic contract law. If you scratch through that part of the check that has that information called release on there, what that means is that the lady who's cashing the check is saying, I don't agree, I don't assent to this being a release. That what I'm doing simply is getting my funds. Now, there's a principle in the law called accorded satisfaction, which simply means if there is a dispute over the amount of a bill, say, for example, the hospital says you owe us $2,500, and Mary says, no, I owe you $1,800. And Mary writes a check and says $1,800 paid in full after there's been a dispute. If the hospital cashed that check, with that word paid in full, Mary could probably enforce that as an agreement that they would take $1,800, but this is different. This is a dentist who is arguing with the patient, or basically trying to come to terms with the patient on a refund, but yet he's writing release on the check as if to say, in addition to that, you're releasing me from any and all liability. And there's not enough space on that check to write that kind of release, but in order to do that, the patient's going to have to basically agree and say, okay, that's fine, I agree to release, and she's not going to do that. So if you just line it out and send the check to the bank should cash it, because the bank doesn't care if there's a release. All the bank cares about is the check good.
Okay, well, makes sense. So, Lucy, thank you for calling in. Thank you for watching, and thanks for the comment.
Lucy, by the way.
Absolutely. We appreciate that. A lot of people on the phone lines with us this evening. We're going to go to Janie right now. Janie, thanks for calling in. And do you have a question or a comment?
I just wanted to share with the general public that when I am a nurse, a retired nurse of 36 years, and medical malpractice, from my perspective, I have run into from time to time, and it's the animal that's there. Okay, when someone wishes to pursue medical malpractice, they need to be extremely clear in their documentation, dates, times, people that were spoken to, what exactly happened. Otherwise, the lawyer has really a lot of holes to try to fill in. The more clearly a person can define the malpractice for the lawyer, the easier he can proceed with what it is he does. I have worked for lawyers and done deposition digests and interrogatories, and so his expertise falls to standard of care, and he makes the decision where it will go and how it will be treated in the courts.
Right.
Just wanted to share that with everybody.
Yeah, and we do appreciate that.
Janie's right. Let me tell you what my job is. My job is to do exactly what she said, which is to make sure the client is clear, make sure the claim is clear, and make sure the holes are filled as much as possible. It is the defense lawyer's job to basically make the plaintiff's case Swiss cheese. Because if you've got Swiss cheese, it's difficult to have a clear claim that you can present to a jury. Because a jury, if they look at a case that has holes in it, you're going to lose. So, and to take it one step further, she's right. The lawyer makes a determination whether there has been a violation of the standard of care. And the standard of care is simply basically a legal term of art, which means there are rules that apply to physicians and other healthcare providers. Have those rules been violated? We all have rules. Chuck, you've got rules in your life. I do too. There are rules on the road. You know, you can't run a red light. We make that determination, but part of that determination is based on how well the client is able to create or present the story in clear, cogent terms that's basically easy for a jury to understand, that doesn't have a lot of gaps. And if you're able to do that, she's right, you're one step closer to being able to have a case be successful.
Okay, it does definitely make sense. All right, we are going to take a break right now, but when we come back, we're going to take more calls and questions and comments right here on OpenLine, so come on back with us.